Hi, it's Stacy again from Stacy's Glass House. I mean, that's my old name, sorry. Stacy Wells Artistry, I mean. I just changed my name. It used to be the Glass House, Stacy's Glass House, because I also do stained glass. And that's what I've been doing a whole lot of today, and it's probably why my brain is so scrambled. Um, but I had to take a break from that, and so I decided I'd do another resin flip cup. I'm having to do a bunch of resin for a pop-up shop thing that I've got coming up in this tiny little town we live in, and so it's a big thing to me, and so I have to make a lot more resin than I normally do, and I thought I'd just go ahead and video one of those. This is just um, a wood circle, and it's been sanded, and the back of it's taped, and it's got some gesso on it. I sealed it with some polyacrylic before I put the gesso on it. And I want to tell you a little bit about the resin first of all. Just a couple of tips that I learned, things I'd like to pass along. I don't know, I warm my resin. I don't know if everybody does that or not, but it's a good idea to put it in a warm water bath, for like about 10 minutes or so before you use it. It makes it a lot more fluid and easier to manage and not so thick. So I do that. And another big helpful thing that I learned somewhere was, especially when you're mixing pigments, which I just got the Arteza pigments in, and I don't know if y'all have tried those, but I mixed so many colors with this today because they're all so pretty. I just couldn't decide. So this is some kind of a crazy flip cup. It's got, I think, 7 or 8 colors in it. I'll put them into the description, but it's probably going to be really wacky looking because I couldn't decide what colors to put in it. Anyway, with using those pigments in resin, it's a real good idea to, when you mix your pigments in your resin, when you're mixing your colors, put your pigment in the bottom of the cup and then add just a little bit of resin and stir it up real good, and then add the rest of your resin that you want to put in that cup. Instead of pouring all your resin in and then putting the pigment in on top of that, a full cup of resin and trying to mix your pigment in there, it won't mix good. It mixes a whole lot better if you just pour a little bit of resin and the pigment, stir it up real good, and then add the rest of it. And I do the same thing with paint when I'm coloring with paint too. I don't know if it makes as much difference or not, but I just get in the habit of doing it that way because it just makes things easier. And these are mixed kind of crazy too, because some of them are Master's Touch paint tinted, and some of them are using the Arteza pigments. Most of them are a combination of the two, because I really like the sparkle that the shimmer and the glitter that the pigments give, but I like the intensity of the colors that the paint gives. So I sometimes mix them together, and I just like to try that. Also, they have some Resin Blast in them. Ooh, that's pretty. And they have a drop or two of silicone in each cup. Yes, I put silicone in it. As long as you only put a little bit, it won't mess it up. Ooh, that's pretty. And I really like the effect. See that? Look at those cells. I just think you can't argue with the results. And as long as you don't put too much in there, it won't hamper the curing process of the resin. If you put too much in, it probably would, but let's torch this and see what happens. Now, if my alarm goes off, don't be startled, because I set the fire alarm off all the time using my torch. You must produce some kind of something that the alarm doesn't like. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes off. Oh, look at those cells. That's so pretty. Like I said, this has lots of colors in it. I couldn't decide. It was purple inspired. That's what got me thinking, was about purple. But after that, I went a little crazy. I did another one earlier. I did a swipe. If you want to check that out, it turned out pretty cool too. It gave me a hard time, but it turned out pretty cool. I didn't have quite enough white lacing as I wanted on that, so I had to go back and get some more white. And I'll embellish this too. On the next videos, I'll show the finished product because I like to embellish mine with my collection of things I've gotten from Hobby Lobby when they're on sale. Different beads and rocks and you name it. I don't want my torch to get all gummed shut because I've touched the on switch with my hands. The resin in it. Wow. Those cells are pretty neat. I think it turned out pretty cool. Hope y'all think so too. Alright, y'all, that's about that. I'm not going to mess with it anymore because if I mess with it some more, I'm going to screw it up. Oh, I'm going to move that little, there. That was bothering me. Okay, now, I'll get the camera down and let y'all have a closer look. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. I hope it was something maybe that helped. In the meantime, please join me again for my next video. I'll be making another one tomorrow. And I'm not sure what I'll be doing then. Resin or something else. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like doing a good old-fashioned flip cup pour with no resin or embellishments or anything, you know. Because I've been working so hard on these. But anyway, thank you for joining me, and I appreciate it. And please remember to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Alright. Now, take a look at that from the top. I told you there were some crazy colors in there. I'll put them all in the description, along with how they're mixed. Anyway. Thank you all for being with me. I certainly appreciate it. Have a good night.